this tutorial, we're going to be looking at Paragon. Useparagon.com is the URL, and we're specifically going to be looking at Paragon Automate, which is the side of the platform where you can use no code or low code to build out workflows and automate tasks. As an introduction to Paragon, we're going to walk through a simple automation of pulling a list of users from a database, which could be a Google Sheet, Airtable base, or a Postgres database, for example, and then sending an email based on some conditions. So let's get started. Once you've created your Paragon account, they have a free 14-day trial, which is great. You will log in and see this page, which is essentially your dashboard. If you see a different screen, you're likely on the Connect side of the platform. So if you log in and you see this screen or a Connect integrations screen, what you'll do is just click on your name here and go to Paragon Automate. For now, let's create our first workflow. We'll go to New Workflow. For this workflow, what we want to do first is establish how we want our workflow to be triggered. There are a few options here. Most common are likely the scheduler or the API endpoint, which works with webhooks. We will opt for the scheduler, and we want this workflow to run weekly. So we'll change this from daily to weekly at 9 a.m. on Mondays. And we can select our time zone here. We'll go with Eastern time. I've already gone ahead and created a Google Sheet for us and populated it. In this example, let's say that you are the chief people officer at a growing company and you want to make sure that you never miss a staff member's birthday or work milestone, like a work anniversary. So you have a Google Sheet where you input the staff member's birthday and start date when they begin employment, and you would like to receive an automated email each Monday to let you know who to celebrate that week. So as you can see here, we have the employee's first name, their last name, their birth month and day, their start month and day, and their start year. And we can just keep updating this list as new employees are hired. We would just add a new row as somebody comes on board and just pop in their birthday, their start date, and that start year. Now let's connect our Google Sheet to Paragon. We'll click the plus sign, and as you can see here, we have a few different options, different steps. These are called steps in Paragon that we can choose from. And if we scroll down, we can see some of their native integrations that they have available to us. So we'll click Google Sheets, and you'll need to connect your Google Sheets account. Once you've connected your account, you'll be able to select that account here. And we're gonna name this step. So we can call this the name of the sheet. Let's call it Staff Celebrations. Perfect. And we'll choose an action here, which is that we want to get rows from the spreadsheet. The worksheet is sheet number 1. And that's it. What we can do now is we can test this step to see if it is working and if it's connected to the right Google Sheet. Perfect. There we go. So when we test steps in Paragon, we can see the first 20 items only. The data is truncated so that you don't have to run through everything to just test your step. You'll get the first 20 results. And so we can see that this step returns that array of the first 20 items in our sheet. We have the employee's first name, their last name, their birthday, start month, day, and start year. A couple of other things to point out here before we move on is one thing that can be very helpful is that you could also filter records right here in this step. So you could look at start dates before August 15th, 2016, so that we could show any employee with effectively 5 or more years of service. So let's test that. So we have our start month day. Date time is before, and then we can add a variable, but we're just going to add it in manually. So 2016, the date 08/15. And again, we can test this step now to see if our results are being filtered. Awesome. We can see that we have 14 employees that have a start date prior to August 15th, 2016. So all of these employees have been with the company for 5 or more years. And we can see those dates here are filtering correctly, which is great. So our Google Sheet is all set up and it looks like everything is working and filtering correctly. In the next video, we're going to look at how we can add a function step to make our filtering dynamic. So instead of hard coding it, as one might say, or instead of putting it in manually to filter these records, we want to put in a function step so that that date will become dynamic each and every week and we'll be able to automate the filtering of our Google Sheet.